snowy Christmas market, single dad Ethan kneels beside his daughter Lily, helping her pick a gingerbread heart when a familiar laugh freezes him mid-breath. His ex, Claire, stands just meters away, holding a cup of mulled wine. Years of silence melt into a single glance. Lily tugs his sleeve and whispers, "Daddy." "That's Mommy." The snow keeps falling. Lights shimmer above, and for the first time in years, the warmth of love starts to thaw the cold between them. The first snowflakes of December settled on Ethan Crawford's wool coat as he walked through the entrance of the Riverside Christmas market. Above him, thousands of white lights twisted through bare tree branches, turning the evening into something magical. The air smelled of cinnamon and roasted chestnuts, and somewhere in the distance, a choir sang Silent Night in harmonies that seemed to float on the cold air itself. The wooden entrance arch was wrapped in evergreen garlands, dotted with red berries. A hand-painted sign proclaimed, "Welcome to Riverside's 47th annual Christmas market." Ethan had been coming here since childhood, first with his parents, then with Claire, and now with Lily. The continuity provided a comfort he hadn't realized he needed until after everything fell apart. "Daddy, look." 7-year-old Lily tugged at his hand, pointing toward a stall draped in red velvet. Wooden ornaments hung from copper hooks, each hand painted with winter scenes. "Can we get one for our tree?" Ethan smiled down at his daughter, her cheeks flushed pink from the cold, her dark curls escaping from beneath her knitted hat. She had his eyes deep brown and curious, but her smile was entirely her own, wide and unguarded. After 3 years of raising her alone, he'd learned to find joy in these small moments. Her excitement over ornaments, her wonder at the falling snow, her hand tucked safely in his. 3 years since Claire had left, since their marriage had crumbled under the weight of his job loss and mounting bills. 3 years since he'd chosen to stay in this small Pennsylvania town while she'd taken a job offer in Chicago. They'd agreed through lawyers and terse phone calls that Lily would be better off with him, in the only home she'd ever known. He'd made peace with it, mostly. Built a quiet life working as a mechanic at Thompson's auto shop, attending Lily's school plays, coaching her soccer team. They had routines now. Saturday morning pancakes where Lily insisted on helping. Sunday walks by the river. Bedtime stories where he did all the voices. It was enough. It had to be. "This one, Daddy." Lily held up an ornament shaped like a gingerbread house, its tiny windows painted with golden light. "It looks like us." Ethan's throat tightened as he took the ornament from her small hands. The house had 2 figures painted in the doorway, a tall one and a small one, holding hands. "Just the 2 of them." "You're right, sweetheart. It does." The elderly vendor, a woman with silver hair and kind wrinkles, smiled warmly. "Looking for something special?" Lily nodded seriously, examining each ornament with careful concentration. Ethan let her browse, his gaze drifting across the market. Couples walked arm in arm, their laughter mixing with the music. Families clustered around food stalls, children balanced on their father's shoulders. It was a scene of warmth and togetherness that made something in his chest tighten with recognition of what he'd lost. They paid for the ornament and continued deeper into the market. Lily stopped at nearly every stall, drawn by glittering glass baubles, candy canes in glass jars, stuffed reindeer with button eyes. At a bakery stall, they stopped to admire gingerbread cookies, stars and trees and hearts decorated with white icing that looked like fresh snow. The baker, a round-faced man with flour dusting his apron, saw Lily's longing gaze and winked. "First cookies free for the prettiest girl at the market." Lily looked up at Ethan for permission. He nodded. "What do you say?" "Thank you very much," she said softly, accepting the gingerbread heart with both hands. They found a bench near the center of the market, beneath a large pine tree decorated with red ribbons. Lily nibbled her cookie, while Ethan sipped hot chocolate, the steam warming his face. The snow was falling harder now, dusting the cobblestones white, muffling the sounds of the crowd into something dreamlike. For a moment, Ethan let himself feel content. This was his life now, simple, stable, focused entirely on Lily. The loneliness that sometimes crept in during late nights, the wondering about what might have been, he could manage those things. He'd learned to carry them quietly. Lily finished her cookie and leaned against his side. "Daddy, do you think Santa knows we moved to the new apartment?" They'd relocated 2 months ago, trading their old house for a smaller place. It had been practical, necessary, but he knew the change had unsettled her. Santa knows everything. Remember? He's magic. Like really magic? Or pretend magic. The best kind of magic. The kind that makes you believe in good things. She seemed satisfied, settling more comfortably against him. They sat in silence, watching snow accumulate on the branches, listening to the market's symphony of voices and music. Then he saw her. A woman walked past the mulled wine stand, 20 feet away, but clearly visible in the glow of string lights. She was laughing, her head tilted back in a gesture Ethan would have recognized anywhere, after any amount of time. That particular angle of her neck, the way her shoulders lifted when she was genuinely amused, it was burned into his memory. Claire, his breath caught. The sounds dimmed, becoming distant and hollow. She wore a red wool coat he'd never seen before, her blonde hair shorter than he remembered. She looked successful, happy, like someone who'd moved on completely. His first instinct was to leave, to gather Lily and disappear before Claire could turn around, but his body wouldn't cooperate. He sat frozen, while his past stood 20 feet away, holding wine and smiling at a stranger. "Daddy? You okay?" Lily's voice pulled him back. He forced his gaze down to her concerned face and managed a smile. "I'm fine, sweetheart. Just cold." But his mind had spiraled back to their first Christmas together, when he'd been a junior engineer and she'd been finishing her MBA. They'd had nothing then, a tiny apartment, furniture from thrift stores, a Charlie Brown tree. But they'd had each other. They'd had plans. He'd proposed on Christmas Eve, dropping to one knee in the snow while she cried and said yes. 3 years later, Lily was born. They were tired constantly, broke most of the time. But they were a team building something together. The cracks started small. His company struggled. Claire's job search yielded only rejections. Bills piled up. Then Ethan lost his job completely. Claire got an offer in Chicago too good to turn down. They tried long distance, but it didn't work. The divorce had been quiet. Claire's visits became rare, then nearly non-existent. Now here she was, and Ethan had no idea what to do. Claire paid for her wine and turned, her eyes sweeping the market casually. Then her gaze landed on Ethan. The smile froze on her face. Her hand, raising the cup toward her lips, stopped mid-motion. For 3 heartbeats that felt like 3 hours, they simply stared at each other across the snowy plaza. Two people who had once known everything about each other, now separated by much more than 20 feet of cobblestones. Claire's lips formed his name. She took a step forward, hesitated, then continued walking toward them with determined grace. "Ethan." She stopped a few feet from the bench, her voice careful and controlled. "I didn't know you'd be here." "We live here," he said, hearing the edge in his voice. He softened it. "You remember. Of course. I just meant I'm only visiting for a few days. Business trip to Pittsburgh. And I thought I'd drive through, see the town." The lie was obvious but polite. Pittsburgh was 2 hours away. Nobody drove through Riverside on the way to anywhere. But Ethan didn't call her on it. "The market's nice this year. It really is. Bigger than I remember. They expanded it. 3 years ago. 3 years. The words hung between them, marking time, marking all the things that had happened since she'd left. All the missed moments, the first days of school, the lost teeth, the nightmares only Daddy could chase away. Claire's gaze kept returning to Lily, who was studying her with frank curiosity. "You look good. Both of you. She's gotten so big. She's 7 now. 2nd grade. Mrs. Patterson's class. 7. God, I can't believe it." The conversation was excruciating. Two people who'd once shared everything now reduced to exchanging basic facts about a child's age. Claire began. "Daddy, I'm cold," Lily interrupted. "Can we get more hot chocolate?" Ethan stood, grateful for the escape route. But as he turned to leave, Claire spoke again. Wait. The word came out almost desperate. She lowered her voice. Could I walk with you? Just for a bit? Ethan looked at her, really looked at her. Beneath the expensive coat and professional makeup, he saw something familiar. Loneliness. Regret. The same things he carried quietly through his own days. Okay, just for a bit. They walked slowly through the market, Ethan, Claire, and Lily, in an awkward triangle. Lily stayed pressed against Ethan's side, while Claire maintained a careful distance of 2 feet. Close enough to be included, but far enough to acknowledge she didn't belong. The gingerbread stall has really nice cookies, Ethan offered. Lily got one earlier. Did you like it? Claire asked Lily directly, her voice brightening with forced cheerfulness. Lily nodded but didn't speak. Her earlier enthusiasm dampened. They passed a toy vendor. Do you still like trains, Lily? Claire asked. I remember you had a whole set when you were little. She's more into art now, Ethan said when Lily remained silent. Drawing. Painting. She's really good at it. That's wonderful. I wasn't much of an artist growing up. Must get that from your dad's side. The conversation limped forward. Claire asked careful questions about school, friends, favorite subjects. Ethan answered most, while Lily observed with growing wariness. At the hot chocolate stand, the teenager preparing drinks said cheerfully, You folks have a beautiful family. Merry Christmas. The misunderstanding hung in the air. Claire's face flushed. Ethan focused intently on Lily's cup. Nobody corrected the vendor. They continued walking aimlessly. How's your job? Ethan asked because the silence was unbearable. Good, really good. I made senior director last spring. Leading a team of 12 now. Congratulations. How's the shop? Fine. Sam Thompson's thinking about retiring next year. Might leave it to me and Dennis. You'd be good at running it. You always were good at managing people. The compliment felt strange coming from her. Every word felt like walking on ice, careful, testing. Aware that any misstep could plunge them into cold water, Lily tugged Ethan's hand. Daddy, I need to go to the bathroom. There are facilities by the entrance, Claire said quickly. I can wait here. We'll be right back, Ethan said, already moving toward the welcome center. He needed space to breathe. In the bright bathroom, Lily looked up at him with questions building in her eyes. Daddy? Who is that lady? Ethan crouched to her level, meeting her gaze. He'd always tried to be honest with her. She's someone I used to know. Someone very important. A friend? More than a friend. We were. He stopped, then decided she deserved the truth. She's your mom, Lily. That's your mom. Lily's eyes went wide, her mouth forming a small O of surprise. My mom? But, I thought. She didn't finish, and Ethan understood. In Lily's mind, mom was a concept more than a person, a figure from photographs and brief video calls. The lady outside didn't match that abstract concept. I know it's confusing, sweetheart, but yes, that's her. She's visiting, and we ran into each other by accident. Is she staying? The question was asked with a child's directness. I don't know, baby. Probably not for long. She lives in Chicago. Lily processed this. Then, does she want to see me? The question broke something in Ethan's chest. Oh, baby. Yes. Very much. Then why doesn't she visit more? Grown-up stuff, complicated stuff. But it's not because she doesn't love you, Lily. Never think that. They returned to find Claire standing near a jewelry stall, looking lost. When she saw them, relief flooded her face. Everything okay? Daddy told me who you are, Lily said, matter-of-factly, though her hand tightened in Ethan's grip. Claire's breath caught visibly. She knelt down slowly, her expensive coat dragging in the slush. You know who I am? Lily nodded. You're my mom. But I don't remember you very much. The honesty of children could be brutal. Claire's face crumpled before she mastered her expression, forcing a trembling smile. I know, sweetie. I haven't been around much, and that's my fault. But I think about you all the time. Every single day. You do? Every day. I have a picture of you on my desk at work. Want to see? Claire pulled out her phone with shaking fingers, showing Lily her second-grade school picture. That's you. You're beautiful. Just like I knew you'd be. That's me, Lily said with wonder, as if seeing proof made it more real. Can I see more pictures? Claire scrolled through her photos, birthday parties, Halloween costumes, first days of school. She'd been collecting these images, keeping them like treasures. You have all of these? Every one. And I look at them when I miss you, which is all the time. It was the right thing to say. Not a promise of change, just a simple truth a child could understand. I miss you. Something shifted between them, not quite trust, but a small crack in the wall. Lily stepped closer, touching the phone screen with one mittened finger. Can we walk more? Lily asked. I want to show you the stall with the ornaments. Claire looked at Ethan, hope mixed with fear in her eyes. He nodded slowly. They began walking again. But the formation had changed. Lily walked between them now, occasionally pointing things out to Claire, the puppet show stage, the carousel, the balloon animal man. Do you like Christmas markets? Lily asked. I do. We didn't have one like this in Chicago, though. You live in Chicago? That's really far. It is. But I'm here now. Claire's voice caught. Can I ask you something, Lily? Okay. What's your favorite thing about Christmas? Lily thought carefully. Snow. And cookies. And when Daddy reads me stories about reindeer. What's yours? Right now? This. Walking through the market with you. It was the right answer again. Lily smiled slightly, warming to this stranger who was somehow her mother. They reached the ornament stall. The vendor recognized Lily and beamed. Back for more treasures? I want to show my mom the ornaments, Lily explained. The word mom came out more naturally this time. Claire examined the ornaments with genuine interest, asking Lily questions. They fell into an easy conversation about colors and glitter. Ethan stood slightly apart, watching, feeling like a spectator at something both painful and necessary. You know, I make custom ornaments too, the vendor said. Family names, dates, special messages. Could you make one that says Lily? Claire asked suddenly. With snowflakes around it? Of course. Give me your email. They exchanged information, while Lily examined more ornaments. Ethan understood what Claire was doing, creating a reason to reach out again, a connection point for the future. Claire bought Lily a snowman ornament. For your tree. So you can think of me sometimes. I will, Lily promised, clutching the bag carefully. It was getting late. We should probably head out, Ethan said. Claire knelt down one more time. Thank you for spending time with me tonight. It meant the world. Are you leaving? Lily asked, fear in her voice. I have to go to my hotel, but maybe we could have breakfast tomorrow, if that's okay with your dad? Ethan's first instinct was to say no, to protect Lily from disappointment. But seeing his daughter's hopeful face, he couldn't. Breakfast could work. Rosie's Diner on Main Street. 9 o'clock? I'll be there, I promise. At Ethan's truck, Lily stepped forward and hugged Claire quickly, then stepped back. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, sweetie. Sleep tight. As they drove away, Lily watched Claire through the window until the market disappeared. Daddy? Is Mommy going to stay this time? Ethan gripped the wheel tighter. I don't know, sweetheart. But she's trying. That's something, right? I think so, Lily said softly. I hope so. Ethan didn't sleep well. After putting Lily to bed with 2 extra stories, he'd sat in the kitchen staring at the photo from the market on his phone. The 3 of them under the Christmas tree, looking almost like a family. He'd sent it to Claire at 11 p.m. Her reply came within seconds. Thank you. She's beautiful. You've done an amazing job. Then, I'm sorry I wasn't there to help. Morning came too quickly. Lily woke excited, chattering about breakfast as she picked out her favorite purple dress. Is Mommy here yet? She'll be at the diner at 5. In the truck, Lily asked. Is Mommy going to live with us now? Ethan pulled into the parking lot and turned to face her. No, baby. She still lives in Chicago. She's just visiting, but you're not mad at her anymore, right? I'm not mad, but not being mad doesn't mean we're getting back together. Do you understand? Lily's face fell. I guess. But I can still wish. Right? You can wish for whatever you want, sweetheart. Claire's car was already there. She'd dressed down jeans and a sweater, but still looked out of place in Rosie's, where most patrons wore flannel. When they walked in, she looked up immediately, standing nervously. Hi. I ordered coffee but nothing else. I wasn't sure what Lily likes now. Pancakes, Lily announced, sliding into the booth. With blueberries. And bacon. Rosie herself came to take their order, her eyes moving between Ethan and Claire with keen interest. Well. Look who's back in town. Hi, Rosie, Claire managed. It's been a long time. 3 years, give or take. Rosie's tone suggested multiple interpretations. What can I get you folks? After ordering, Claire said, I used to waitress here during college summers. Rosie always gave me the worst shifts Tuesday lunches when nobody tipped. I didn't know that, Ethan admitted. The conversation was stilted at first. Then Lily, syrup on her chin, asked, Mommy, why did you go away? The question landed like a stone. Claire set down her fork carefully. I got a job offer in a big city. A really good job. And your daddy and I were having some problems. We were arguing a lot about money, so I thought if I took the job, I could help by making more money. But then you didn't come back, Lily said simply. No, I didn't. And that was a mistake. Claire's voice wavered. I got busy with work, and the more time passed, the harder it was. I was scared. Scared of what? Scared that you'd forgotten me. Scared that you'd be angry with me. Scared that I'd messed everything up so badly that I couldn't fix it. I was sad when you left. I cried a lot. Daddy said you still loved me, but I wasn't sure. Claire's eyes filled with tears. Oh, sweetie. I'm so sorry. I never stopped loving you. Not for one single day. Then why didn't you visit more? Because I'm not very brave. Being a parent means being brave, showing up even when it's hard. Even when you're scared. Your daddy's been brave every single day. Taking care of you. I wasn't brave enough. I let my fear win. Are you brave now? I'm trying to be. Coming here, having breakfast with you, telling you all this, that's me trying to be braver. Lily nodded and returned to her pancakes, moving between profound questions and ordinary moments with a child's ease. Ethan felt something shift. Claire was trying. She was being honest in a way that was age-appropriate but not condescending. Do you remember the Christmas I proposed? He found himself asking. At the market? Claire looked up, surprised. Of course. You were so nervous you could barely speak. I thought I was going to throw up. It was perfect, Claire said softly. Snow falling. You on one knee looking terrified and hopeful at the same time. They talked for 2 hours, remembering when they'd been happy, before everything went wrong. Lily colored on placemats, while her parents slowly remembered why they'd fallen in love, not just the physical attraction, but the ease of conversation, the shared humor. But Ethan was also aware of what was different. The betrayal. The 3 years of absence. The walls he'd built to survive. When Lily excused herself to the bathroom, Claire touched Ethan's hand briefly. Thank you. For not shutting me out. It's not for me, it's for her. I know, but still, she pulled back. Ethan, I meant what I said last night. About wanting to fix things. I want to come back every 2 weeks. Regular visits, video calls during the week. Maybe work toward shared custody eventually, if you'd consider it. Shared custody? Ethan's jaw tightened. Claire, you can't just decide to be a full-time parent after 3 years. I know that. I'm not asking for tomorrow. But maybe we could work toward it. Slowly? She has a life here. I'm not disrupting that. I've always been her mother. Claire's voice hardened slightly. I know I haven't been here, but I never stopped being her mother. Being a mother is more than biology. It's showing up. They were starting to argue. Ethan forced himself to breathe. Look, I'm not saying no, but show me. Don't tell me. If you hurt her again, we're done. No second chances. Fair enough. I can work with that. Lily returned. Daddy, can we show Mommy our apartment? I want her to see my room. Ethan hesitated but couldn't say no. At the apartment, Claire walked through slowly, taking in everything: photos on the refrigerator, toys organized in bins, Lily's backpack by the door. The evidence of a life built without her. It's nice, cozy. Lily dragged her to the second bedroom, showing her drawings and stuffed animals. When Lily ran to get more art, Claire stood in the small yellow room, tears streaming down her face. She's wonderful. And I missed it all. Not all of it, Ethan said. You're here now. 3 years, though. Then don't miss any more. Claire looked at him. I won't. I promise. Claire stayed for another hour, asking questions about bedtime routines, favorite foods, school schedules, the mundane details of parenting she'd been absent for. When she finally had to leave, she knelt to Lily's level. Can I call you this week? To talk? Not lawyer calls, Lily clarified. Real calls. Real calls. Every night if you want. After she left, Ethan's phone buzzed. Thank you for today. He typed back. You're her mom. She deserves to know you. Can we talk more? Tonight? I'm staying one more night. Okay. Call around 9. That evening, after Lily was asleep, his phone rang. Hi. Is this a good time? Yeah. Lily's asleep. I've been thinking about what you said, about proving I'm serious. So here's what I'm proposing. I want to come back every 2 weeks. Friday night to Sunday afternoon. I'll stay at the hotel. We can work out a schedule. They talked logistics for 20 minutes. Then, Claire's voice softened. Can I ask you something honestly? I'll try. Do you think you'll ever forgive me? Not for Lily's sake, but actually forgive me? Ethan stared at the ceiling. I don't know. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how to co-parent. The forgiveness part. That's going to take time. Maybe a lot of time. That's fair. Can I ask you something now? Of course. Why did you really come back? You were miserable for 3 years. Why now? Claire was quiet. My therapist made me write a letter to Lily not to send, just for me. When I finished, I realized I was writing apology letters instead of just going to see her. It felt insane, so I booked the Pittsburgh trip and drove here. I told myself I'd just drive through town, but then I went to the market, and I saw you and Lily, and I couldn't leave. I'm glad you didn't. You are? For Lily's sake, yes. What about you? Do you need anything from me? I need to know you're not going to hurt her again. That's all. Everything else is secondary. I won't. I'll show you. I'll be here in 2 weeks. They talked for another hour about Claire's job, about Lily's school, about the small details that made up their lives. When they finally said goodbye, Ethan felt exhausted, but lighter. He checked on Lily. She clutched the snowman ornament. Your mom's trying. Baby girl, he whispered. The next weeks unfolded into a rhythm. Claire came every other weekend, as promised. The first call was awkward. Lily held the phone stiffly, answering with one-word responses. But by the third call, she was chattering about her day, about art projects, about what Emma had said at recess. Friday came. Lily had been counting down, marking days on the calendar with big red X's. When Claire knocked at exactly 5 p.m., Lily raced to the door. Claire stood holding a gift bag. She'd dressed casually: jeans, a sweater, her hair in a ponytail. She looked nervous and hopeful. "Hi," she said uncertainly. "Mommy." Lily grabbed her hand, pulling her inside. "Come see what I made." The evening passed more easily than Ethan expected. They ordered pizza. Claire had brought a craft kit, and they spent an hour making bead bracelets. "This one is for you, Mommy," Lily said, holding up a bracelet with purple and blue beads. "Purple is my favorite, and blue is yours, right?" "Blue is my favorite," Claire confirmed, her voice catching. "That's exactly right." At 7:30, Claire glanced at Ethan. "I should head to the hotel." "No," Lily protested. "Can't you stay for bedtime? Please." Claire looked at Ethan, asking permission. He nodded. One story. They crowded onto Lily's bed and read her favorite book. Ethan did his usual voices, making Lily giggle. Claire watched with an expression of longing. When the story ended, Claire kissed Lily's forehead. "Sleep tight, sweetheart. I'll pick you up tomorrow at 9. Just you and me. Promise, eh?" "I promise." "And you know what? I've never broken a promise to you yet." "Have I?" Lily thought. "No. You've called every time, and I'm going to keep doing that." After Claire left, Lily was quiet. Then, "Daddy, I think maybe Mommy really is going to stay this time." "What makes you think that?" "Because she didn't just say she'd come back. She's already here. She already came back." Saturday. Ethan made himself scarce. At 4 p.m., he got a text with a photo of Lily at an art studio. Paint on her nose. The caption read, "She's amazing." When he returned, Lily burst through the door full of stories. They'd painted pottery, eaten grilled cheese, gone to a bookstore, fed ducks. Sunday breakfast at Rosie's was comfortable. They discussed Christmas, now 3 weeks away. "I was thinking," Claire said carefully, "maybe I could come the weekend before Christmas? Help decorate, do some baking, and then come back on Christmas Eve through Christmas Day?" Lily's face lit up. Ethan glanced at her. "That could work. Really? I can really be here for Christmas? You're her mom. Of course you can." The weeks fell into rhythm. Claire came every other weekend. Each visit went more smoothly. She and Lily video chatted regularly. She asked Ethan questions, building knowledge about their daughter. In January, Claire called asking to come by after Lily was asleep. When she arrived, her face was flushed. "I need to tell you something. I requested a transfer to Pittsburgh. It's official, I start February 1st. It's 90 minutes away instead of 7 hours. I can come every weekend if you're okay with it." Ethan stared. This was real. She was upending her Chicago life to be closer to Lily. "That's a big change." "It is, but it's the right one. I want to build the right life now." Lily will be thrilled. "What about you?" 3 months ago, this would have terrified him. Now it felt right. "I think it's good. For Lily. Maybe for all of us." By February, Claire had moved. She rented a small house with a bedroom for Lily. By March, they'd established a routine. Lily spent weeknights with Ethan, most weekends with Claire. The birthday party was at a bowling alley. Afterward, they got pizza. "Best birthday ever," Lily declared. "Because both of you are here. Together. Like a real family." That evening, Claire caught Ethan's arm. "Can we talk? Tomorrow? Just us?" "About us." They met for coffee. "I've been thinking," Claire started. "About us. About whether we could ever try again. Maybe date? See if there's still something there besides Lily?" Ethan's heart did something complicated. "I don't know if that's a good idea." "Why not? We're getting along. And I still have feelings for you. Are you different now, or just trying to fill a void?" She flinched. "That's fair. But I've been back for 4 months. Through stomach flu and snowstorms. I'm not running. I need time to think. This isn't just about us. I know. Take all the time you need. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the market, about slowly accumulating photos, about Lily's joy. In the morning, he called. I've been thinking, and maybe we could try. Slowly. Very slowly. Really? One date. That's all I'm committing to. And Lily can't know until we figure out if this is worth pursuing. One date. When? Next Saturday. Lily's sleeping over at Emma's. It's a date. A year later, Ethan stood in the same Christmas market where everything had changed. The decorations were the same, but everything else was different. Lily, now 8.5, ran ahead with Emma, giggling. Behind them walked Ethan and Claire hand in hand. It had been a slow year. That first date had led to a second, then a third. They'd moved carefully, aware they were building on damaged foundation. They'd done couples counseling, had hard conversations about money, career, what they each needed. Learned to fight without destroying each other, to communicate instead of shutting down. In September, Claire had asked if she could move back in. Not to Ethan's apartment, to their apartment, their home. He'd said yes. They still weren't married. Maybe they would be again someday, maybe not. But they were together, partners in both parenting and life. Look, Daddy, Lily called from the ornament stall. She has new ones. They joined her. The elderly vendor smiled in recognition. Well, if it isn't my favorite family. Back again? Every year, Claire said warmly. I remember you ordered the custom ornament with the little girl's name. I did. Lily loved it. I have something new you might like. The vendor pulled out a wooden heart with 3 figures carved into it. It's called Family. Just finished it yesterday. Ethan looked at Claire. She looked at Lily. And Lily looked at both of them, with a smile that could melt snow. Can we get it? She asked. Absolutely, Ethan and Claire said together. As they walked through the market, all 3 together, snow began to fall. Light at first, then heavier, coating everything in white. Lily spun in circles, trying to catch snowflakes on her tongue, while her parents watched with matching expressions of contentment. Do you remember that first night? Claire asked softly. When I saw you here, and almost didn't approach. I remember. I almost left when I saw you. I'm glad we didn't, either of us. They stopped under the large Christmas tree where they'd taken that first awkward photo. Someone had installed a permanent photo spot with lights and a festive backdrop. Picture? Lily suggested. Picture, they agreed. This time, there was no awkwardness in their formation. They stood close, all 3 smiling genuinely. The photo showed what they'd become. Not a perfect family, but a real one. Repaired, rebuilt, and finally whole. As they left the market that evening, Lily took both their hands, swinging between them. This is my favorite Christmas ever. Why's that, sweetie? Claire asked. Because we're all together. Like a real family. We are a real family, Ethan corrected gently. We've always been a real family. We just had to find our way back to each other. Later, after Lily was asleep, Claire leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder on the couch. Thank you, she said. For what? For not giving up on me. For giving me a second chance when I didn't deserve one. For letting me be part of this. Ethan kissed the top of her head. You're her mother. You're my. He paused. You're what? My person. You're my person again. Maybe you always were. Outside, snow continued to fall over the small Pennsylvania town. Inside, in a modest apartment, a family of 3 sat surrounded by Christmas decorations and a tree that was slightly too big. Their photos lined the walls, old ones and new ones, documenting a journey from together to apart to together again. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. Real life never was. There would still be disagreements, moments of doubt, memories of pain that occasionally surfaced. But there was also love resilient, tested, and somehow stronger for having been broken and repaired. On the tree, among ornaments collected over years, hung 3 special ones. The gingerbread house Lily had chosen that first night. The snowman Claire had bought, and the new one with 3 figures carved into a heart. Family. Rebuilt, repaired, and real.